frames, kilobits per second. Everything looks good. Alrighty, so hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Xpanse Gaming Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Vertex, and I am joined today by Super Flooper and Xpanse Corrected, who y'all met last week. So say hello, guys, again.
I'm Floop.
Hello.
So, yeah, not much has changed since a week ago when we talked to you guys, or 2 weeks ago, because last week we were incredibly lazy and inefficient, and yeah, that's pretty much how it went. But
Just last.
yeah,
That's the only time we've
yeah,
ever been
ever in our
lazy.
entire lives. Never mind the fact that we procrastinate everything in our college lives to the last minute and barely turn things in on time, but that's okay. That's the way things are supposed to be. But yeah, so anyways, what we wanted to, this is going to be a quick podcast just because of time limitations and stuff, and really, honestly, there's not a whole lot to talk about within the Destiny universe, and so what I wanted to hit on very quickly is the only thing that is keeping me playing the game right now, and that is the Crucible, and just specifically how it's been going, what's been good. We just had the Iron Banner Clash, which I really, really enjoyed. I always enjoy Iron Banner Clash because I was able to solo queue it and win games and feel like I was part of the reason because we won games, or reason for winning games, and was able to use my 6v6 class setup, which is a storm warlock with a shotgun and like a Might of Multi-Tool or something of that nature. And so I really enjoyed that. I don't know how much you guys got to play. How much did y'all end up playing this last week?
I got to rank 5 and then I quit.
I almost got to rank 3.
So you didn't even get the sniper then, did you, Levi?
No, but no big deal. I'll stick with my glass promontory for now.
Yeah, and it's a 3-shot body shot anyway.
Yeah, it was pretty lackluster. Like for something that looked as effective and as cool as it did, once I got it and I was playing with you, Levi, and I body shotted the guy twice. And I was like, what just happened here? Like, wait a second. The numbers are not adding up correctly. And so that was
my in-game not really goal, because I doubt I could ever get there, but it'd be really cool to be so good with a sniper that you could use like a Wayloran's March way more effectively than a 1,000-yard in 6v6s, because you to get to the point where you just don't miss headshots, so then you can just go bang 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 bang, because that would be awesome, But I mean, realistically speaking, I would definitely stick to something like a 1,000-yard stare. Of course, you're gonna miss shots.
Yeah, and I don't know which one of you told me this, but you said that it was basically the most powerful scout rifle in the game, and it's true because it was basically a very high impact sniper or scout rifle that if you happen to hit somebody in the head, it killed them instantly. But it barely killed them instantly. Like the few instances that I had where I killed people with a headshot, I think they were pretty much already weak or not dead, but I feel like they already had a bullet to them. I didn't use the gun long enough. I feel like I didn't give it a good enough chance, and I probably won't because of my 1,000-yard stare and the lack of Destiny that I have been playing over the past few weeks. So yeah, but the Iron Banner was fun. I enjoyed the Iron Banner, and I didn't have too many lag fest games. It wasn't like last December or even early January was, where it was just a nightmare. But yeah, I mean
I had a lag fest game.
I mean, there were some thrown in there like that. I think it's unrealistic to expect to.
Oh yeah, that's unbelievable.
In any multiplayer game. Honestly, though, Jake, the only game that I haven't had lag experiences in, just because I haven't played it very much, is Battlefield 4. I have not had any games where I felt like I was lagging.
I don't ever lag in Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
When I play it. But that's also because they have to have all that stuff juiced up because it's so large.
Yeah.
And there's so many people playing at one time. Lag in that would be unbearable, and they know that, so they have to spend more money on that, and that's where most of their resources go. So that's understandable.
Yeah. So, yeah, besides Iron Banner, they haven't really played with much, have they?
Oh no, they went on the Dreadnought ride along today.
Oh, that's
That
exciting.
happened. Oh, it was. It was wonderful.
On a dreadnought ride along.
Yeah, they went on the.
Did they
Well,
invite
okay,
Ice Cube?
the
That's
thing-
all that I need to know. Like, was Ice Cube and Kevin Hart sitting there talking about the Dreadnought?
Well, no, like it. Okay, yeah, I get it. Like you're connecting with the community, and that's cool. Like you're based off of that or whatever. Like you wanna be like that. That's fine. Whatever. But showcasing something that came out 5 months ago that most of us already know by the back of our hands, instead of being like, hey, we're gonna stream and we're gonna play this and this, and we're gonna talk about new stuff in Destiny that's coming out for PvE players. And while we do it, we're gonna run around the Dreadnought and do whatever. That would have been cool. But what they were doing basically is going around and talking more about like the artwork that went into the Dreadnought and all that stuff, which is interesting. That's really cool. Those people are extremely talented. But at the same time, we've been in the Dreadnought since September.
Yeah.
Like I could draw you a map of the Dreadnought on a piece of notebook paper while I'm sitting in class, and I've done it before, like just doodling, and I'm like, hey, this is the schematic for the Dreadnought, and it just, I don't know,
Yeah,
it seemed like a bad attempt at a good thing.
from my personal opinion, I would almost rather go watch. And no offense to Deej, but Deej get stomped in the Crucible, and have him just sit there and almost be a personality, and maybe even just sit there and answer questions on Twitch, than, like you said, them talk about like what went into making the Dreadnought, or why this looks or is the way it is, because it's been explored. I was never a huge fan of the Dreadnought originally. I think it's a cool concept and stuff, and it was very beautifully done, but I just did not like the Dreadnought as a map. It's like, Jake, you're a very big fan of Venus. And the way it looks, and I agree with you. I actually really like Earth, because I like seeing it in this kind of like post-used state. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
But the Dreadnought was just like, okay, it's basically the Hive Death Star, and it's beautiful, but it was just like, it's basically just kind of these tunnels, and that's it. And I'm sure there had all these great artists working on it, and it does show, but I just felt like, I feel like you said, there's much more relevant stuff they could be talking about if they insist on streaming and not working maybe on some more content or some other things of that nature. But
Well, yeah, and like the Dreadnought's awesome, but it goes back to the same issue that we had where Earth, the Cosmodrome, for example, just the Cosmodrome where you go to patrol, is apparently way smaller than it originally was, because they wanted to be backwards compatible, which is understandable because the old consoles were still relevant when they were making the game, and people were still playing on them a lot. The PS4 and the Xbox One were new, and I get that, but like it's so massive. It is literally called the Dreadnought. It, like you said, it's their Death Star. Like it's huge. It's this giant ship that they parked next to Venus, which apparently, if the Cabal had blown it up, would have wiped out half of the solar system. And so if something's that big, I don't understand why there isn't more to it that we can go to. And like they could even release that. You know what I mean? They could be like, hey, new patrol area in the Dreadnought, and that would be okay. Like just something to keep people somewhat entertained. You know what I mean? Like, because it would be cool. Like, add a couple of ghost shells, add something special that you get for going to it and doing something, and just make it like a scavenger hunt, even through the Dreadnought, and you go to places that you haven't been already a million times, and make it interesting. And you already have the textures, and you already have the main, layout or whatever of the Dreadnought. So you could just add a couple more rooms, and people would be happy. You know what I mean?
see, I would be even more happy if they would just bump up the light values on the old raids.
Yeah, and that's probably what they're going to do. because they're raising the light level and everything. In the next big update thing that's supposed to be coming out, I haven't really kept track of it, but it's like their next thing where they actually give us the second biggest thing since Taken King, I think is what they called it. And it's supposed to raise your light level. And what I'm thinking is they're probably going to just bring the old raids back into relevance somewhat, like just raise their light level because base light level is going to go up during that update as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, as much as it's fun to think about, this new PvE content and stuff, the odds are that until that big release like you were talking about, Jake, we're not going to get anything of any substance, and it's almost and they were like, oh, this whole Crimson Doubles thing, and granted it was PvP, but these kind of live events have kind of turned out to be just kind of either Crucible centered fests where you just go around and have fun, or they're these kind of additions like the SRL was, where it was just like, oh, go do this, have a little bit of racing to prove who is the fastest in your group, and it was Jake, just for those of you who wanted to know.
Hello.
And then get some 320 light, which was cool and it was fun. But as far as new PvE content, I've given up hope on that. But what I'm not giving up hope on for Destiny right now is PvP. And I heard an interesting idea that I wanted to ask you guys about, and this was my one thing that I wanted to hit on for Destiny or Crucible right now, just because of the way things are right now. The Planet Destiny podcast, I don't know if it was this most recent episode or if it was before, was talking about time to kill, and they came up with the idea of bumping up the time to kill on primary weapons with the exclusion of Thorn, The Last Word, and Mida. I wanted to know what you guys thought about that, and whether or not you could that would seem like a viable, not solution to something, because I feel like the time to kill as it is right now is balanced, but it almost could become a natural nerf to secondary weapons if primary weapons could kill a little bit faster, and then they might not have to basically take away all of our special ammo, which is what I feel like we kind of felt like they had done with this most recent update, right? Especially to game modes that are 3v3 centered.
I just need a little bit of clarification real quick. When you say bump up the time to kill, do you mean decrease it or increase it?
I mean, decrease the time to kill. Make the primary weapons more powerful. Yeah.
For a second, I thought you meant
no. Yeah, I can definitely see what you mean. Yeah.
No.
You guys know how I feel about Thorn.
We know.
I like that idea. You'd see a lot more. I mean, that seems, now that you say that seems like a much better idea than limiting special ammo, because it would do what they're intending to do with the special ammo and force people to use their primaries. Well, it wouldn't even force them, but it would give them more reason to, incentive. And honestly, I think that's a lot better way to go about things than, forcefulness. Typically, people respond better to it. But I think that would be a great idea. You definitely see a lot more primaries. You wouldn't hear Cataclysm running around going, "Learn to use a primary." So yeah, I think that's a really awesome idea. But there should be exclusions. I don't think it should just be like a blanket buff to time to kill.
Because Mida, The Last Word, and Thorn do essentially
they're right about where it needs to be.
Well, they do essentially what people I think are wanting, which is when a guy is 20 feet away from you with a shotgun and he is able to close the distance, kill you, and still have half health, there's a little bit of a problem there. Whereas if I could maybe 3 burst him in the head with a little, or not even in the head, 3 burst him with a pulse rifle, so that maybe he has to be a little bit more tactical, it would be better. And Levi, I think you would like that even more, because it would then separate good shotgunners from me.
I mean, it sounds like a good idea, I guess. I don't want it to become like Call of Duty, as much as you hate to hear that, Corn Dog, where You walk around the corner and there's a dude standing there with a auto rifle and you just insta die, and because that would take most of the tacticality out of the game, because most children in the game, um, and I say that very lovingly, most children in the game aren't good at killing me unless they have a sniper rifle, because, like with their primary weapon, because of my shade step and stuff that I've gotten so used to, that most gunfights that I know I'm not going to win, I can get out of.
Yeah.
And most of those gunfights usually lead to me running back around, picking up one of you two, and then turning the match around. And it I don't know. I feel like that would remove some of the element of like being able to kind of play it out as it goes, if that makes sense. Like, because if I'm, let's say, okay, you shoot me 3 times, like you said, with a pulse rifle, and I'm dead. If you shoot me twice, I activate shade step, and that third bullet hits me mid shade step. That's it. It's over. And granted, I probably shouldn't have been hit by the first 2 bursts, but at the same time, that that extra bullet or whatever it would take if they reduce it, like you're saying, could be the difference between me going back and making a really nice play and people running straight up to your spawn when there's still no special ammo, because I'm pretty sure they're not taking that away anytime soon with the 3v3 modes, since they just implemented it. People pushing in with whatever weapons, that aren't Last Word, Mida, Thorn, that have been infected by this, and just 3-bursting you in your spawn before you have time to actually settle in and get ready to fight. And I feel like that's a really big part of Destiny, is settling in and getting ready for the fight. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It seems like they would have to be really careful with it, because you don't want it to become like Call of Duty, where it's like turn a corner and everyone dies on the enemy team. Or
Yeah, and at the same time, you'd want it to be somewhat noticeable.
right, that's what I'm saying. Like it's a very
everything. Balance.
No, this unattainable balance.
damage referee.
Yeah, I do agree with you, Jake. I mean, I've been playing Ghosts more recently, and Ghosts has like the quickest time to kill I think I've ever played in a Call of Duty game. Because like I'll literally turn a corner, or I'll do it on to somebody else, shoot like 3 bullets, and they'll die, and it'll be one of those things like it was like, what? That was it. And so like I think it could have one of 2 different effects. I think you could have what you were talking about, which is kind of this speeded up, this lack of tacticality to the game, and it would just be who's got quicker reflexes or who happens to be in a good position or something, like Call of Duty is 90% of the time. Or it could turn into this even more tactical pick your battles, because if you charge and try and tank in trials, and you're going to get shut down quick, and then you've thrown your team at a complete disadvantage. And I think it would have different effects on different people, and I don't know how I would feel about it. I don't know if and I don't even know if how much of a buff would be needed to primary weapons, because obviously there's no quicker way to kill than a shotgun from point blank or a sniper rifle to the head. But I don't know. I mean, right now it just seems like the Last Word is the only thing that can stop a shotgun, and Mida is the only thing that can counter a sniper. And this game has, like I've said before, 100 cool different legendary weapons. I don't know. I'm just picking that number, and only 3 of them are ever used in the Crucible by serious players. And I think it would be really cool if this game, with all this different diversity, was able to show some of that off in the Crucible, which is the only thing that is keeping people in it on a regular basis. And maybe they don't care. Maybe they're just like, well, if we lose a bunch of people, they'll come back in 2 months, and maybe they need the break anyways. But something tells me that's not good when your daily player count drops by a significant level.
Well, here's some numbers for you. The Trials of Osiris stream that I tuned into had over like 800,000 people in it, I think was the number. It's either 200,000 or 800,000. Hang on, let me pull it up. And in hundreds of thousands, okay? Hundreds of thousands of people tuned in and watched the first like showcase of Trials, like the weekend it came out. You know, they played it before we did or whatever, or the first night, and I tuned into it, and it was amazing. You know what I mean? You were like, whoa, you know, and this is awesome and stuff. This Dreadnought ride along had 20,000 people join throughout the entire thing, not at one time. Like when I joined, there were hundreds of thousands of people in it, like at that time. You know what I mean? Like, so it wasn't like over the entire night, hundreds of thousands of people tuned in and checked it out. The like 30 minutes that I was in it before we started playing Trials, there were hundreds of thousands of people. And I took a screenshot and I'm looking for it right now. Um, it's just like to see something go, even if it was just 200,000, to see something go from 200,000, everybody amped up, everything else, to 20,000, and everyone in the comments is like, "Bro, fix your game, please. I want to come back to it." It's just ridiculous to me that they're still just not addressing issues that people have. And really, like you said, the only people that are still here are diehard Crucible fans and the people that just got the game. And the people that like rating still or want to hit 320. So like you have your completionists, your diehards, and then the new guys, and that's it. And that's all that's still playing this game. Everyone else has moved on to other stuff.
That's not a strong enough community. Like hardcore fans, I mean, that's a great base to have, but to have a strong community like Destiny had year one, you have to have very, very hardcore players, some more regular casual players, and then, like you said, your newbies. But it's, there has to be a significant number of all those different types of players for there to be this growing great community. And right now, it's almost like the community doesn't know what to do because even this podcast, it's hard to think up some ideas as far as what to talk about, as far as productive, positive things to say, because it's so easy just to say, okay, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be fixed. As hardcore players, when we used to play, 5 hours a day, and now it's been days since. Jake, actually, I think I saw that you were on the other day, but it's been days since I've played, and by choice.
Yeah, I was playing Iron Banner, to get a gun, and that was it. Like, literally, I finished all of my weekly bounties in the first few games, and I know that that's me just destroying kids with my clanmates, and most people don't. It doesn't end up like that for most people, you know what I mean? But I played about 3 games, finished all of the weeklies except hit rank 4, finished the dailies in the first 2 games, turned those in, quit playing, came back the next day, played those dailies, waited until like Saturday, turned those in, and then turned in the last weekly on Monday, and I was rank 5. So like I literally played the minimum amount required to hit rank 5 and did so, picked up my stuff from Salad Face and quit and got off and went on Netflix and did whatever else I was doing before I got on Destiny. And it just it's weird to play Destiny like that for me. Because it's a ton of fun when you're in there with the clan. Like I was playing with Raston and some other guys, and I just went online and I saw some people on Netflix and some people there, and I sent everybody out an invite, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna play Iron Banner if y'all want to come. Got me a team of 6 with clan mates. We were all messing around in the Discord, and it was fun like Destiny used to be, but we all got bored of it after 20 minutes. We were like, yep, we won, okay, next game.
Yeah,
it's just redundant at this point. It's repetitive, and I never thought Destiny would be like that as an alpha player. Because we started and we were kids in a candy store, and our eyes were the size of Gatorade bottles, and it just
stayed that way for a while too.
Yeah, and it was just so cool. And they were like we started playing, we found the Vault of Glass. We were like, this is incredible, and we're in the vault basically, and it's like when you're at the grocery store and you get a call and somebody's like, hey, you can buy cake, because it was like we were in the vault, we were raiding, and I didn't even have a raid team, and I was excited. Like I barely even did vaulted glass. I was like level 28 for months, and they were like, "Hey, this new raid's coming out. It's Crota. It's the god of the hive." And we're like, "Whoa!" And we played that for hours on end, and it was just fun, and it wasn't repetitive. Like we ground out the gear, but then we went back to vault, and we got somebody else a vault cape, and it was cool. And we would open the chest, and somebody got Hawk Moon, and everybody hated him for the little while, and it was just there was so much stuff to do when they released it going to now when it's just not like that. It's just weird because it's like giving someone $1 million and then buying a new car with it, and then you going, "Yeah, I'm gonna give you another $1 million next year," and you're like, "Okay," and they hand you like $250,000, and you're like, "Well, this isn't $1 million," and they're like, "Yeah, it is. Come on, go spend it. Go buy another new car," and it's just not what it was. And I guess it's like that new car feeling. Your 16th birthday, you wake up and there's a car in the driveway with a bow on it, and you put like 100,000 miles on it in the first week because you're really excited, and then a month later you're like, "Man, I wish I had a new car." And it's just weird. I never thought Destiny would get that way because it was always so exciting.
But, definitely feel that. It was always just like so cool, and I did drop off for a bit in the beginning just because I think I was well, for one thing, I sucked at Crucible, and Crucible was all I enjoyed, so I was sad. And then all this like PvE stuff started happening, and I didn't actually have any friends to play with. So all the raids and stuff, which I'm, even with all the friends, I'm not a big raid fan. But so I dropped off for a bit and came back a little bit before Connor got it, and then me and Connor started playing, and I got pretty into Crucible and stuff, and I was really pumped. And then Taken King, Flaming Hammers, I was excited, and Taken King really did impress me with all the weapons and I love the new subclasses. I love the way they revamped. Well, I mean, they did do that, but that's a different thing. The strikes. I like the revamped style of strikes, I should say, where it was kind of like some random events, which the random events and strikes was a cool idea, but since the random part was kind of underwhelming, it was never like hard ads or anything like that. But
Yeah.
it was still cool strikes. Like when they were doing the streams to tease it, when I saw the Shield Brothers, I lost my mind. I was like, "This is amazing!" And he like pulled out a sword, and I was like, "It was just really cool." And then now, yeah, the Taken King, shiny has worn off. It's like, okay, and I mean, just because it's Destiny, I think I have that sense of where's the more? We need more. Like, come on. But like, if I think about it in terms of other games, I'm not going to compare it to Call of Duty because Call of Duty comes out once every year, which even then that's longer than what we're expecting from Destiny. Which Destiny is a little different because it is like an MMO, but it's I don't know. It's a weird kind of gray area, and the only thing that matters is I am bored with it, and I would like some more to keep me playing.
Right, and it's like I want to keep playing, but I have no incentive.
Yeah.
Like I love the game, but like I signed in. Okay, here's a for instance. My first 3 games of Iron Banner, I hadn't played in a week, right? And then it's Friday, so it's been almost 2 weeks since I've played Destiny, and jumped into Iron Banner with Raz and pulled like a 3.3 KD first game, like out of the box, and I was like, okay, like that's cool, whatever. And used to, I'd be like, yeah, we're stomping these guys and this and this, and like it was against another clan, so it was like normally I'd be impressed, but I was like, yeah, okay, let's go to the next game, let's get this over with, and for the next like 3 games, I was well over positive. Like now, I had a few games, Levi, you were there. I had a few games where I had like a .8, and we were just getting stomped on. But like for the majority of the games, we were pulling over positive by a great deal, and it just wasn't what it used to be. Like when Taken King dropped, and they were like new Iron Banner gear, and we all jumped in and ground it out. And I almost feel like it started to a lesser extent with Trials when they were like, yeah, new Trials stuff, and it's literally the old Trials gear recolored and renamed, and like without a shader, and no one really wears armor without a shader anyway. So they literally just changed the name of the old gear, and I think that's kind of where it started for me, where I was like, really, come on, guys, like what's the deal? This is supposed to be really awesome and Taking King and stuff. And I know I'm loving the car thing today, but it's like if you get your new car and then the tire falls off, and you're like, well, that's kind of weird. And you put the tire back on, and then like you said, and then the shiny's gone after that. Like it slowly starts to wear off, and it just is worn off, and there's nothing left to do. I've got the light level. I hit 320 when they gave out the free 320 ghost shells. I've got the light level. I've got the raid gear. I've got all the exotic swords. I've got the trial set. I've got my dead orbit cape. What else? What else is there for me to get? Like I got all the exotics in the first few weeks with exotic Ingrams, it just there's no incentive anymore at all in the game in general. And I like Crucible, but when it's these people that are either so sweaty that you snap in half, or they're using Thorn and Fellwinter's Lie from year one, or they're just so casual that you almost feel bad playing against them and you mercy rule them in Iron Banner. It's just not enjoyable.
Like just going back to my whole deal, I think to me it seems like a big cause for loss of incentive. I think they've made parts of it too easy. Like,
yeah, I was about to say that.
I mean, it's not hard anymore. It used to be like a big deal if you got trials gear, and now it's like
coins.
3 of coins. Heck yeah, getting exotics. Which I mean, I do love the exotics and stuff. So there's always everybody's a little bit greedy. So there's a part of me that's like, don't take away my exotic. Come on, I like being able to be like practically guaranteed an exotic every now and then versus the extreme RNG. But at the same time, as much as I hated, like it seemed like such a pain to grind for stuff. Looking back on it, it kind of kept me doing stuff. It gave us incentive. It gave us more things to work towards. Now it's like Jake said, he played a couple of games and got rank 5 in Iron Banner. That is not how Iron Banner is supposed to work. Not how they advertise it, anyways, and it's certainly not how it used to work. I don't. To me, they have 2 easy options: make it hard and give us incentive, or give us more things to work for and give us incentive. You either have
require
quantity,
actual work, though.
Sounds like work. Let's not.
That's very true.
Bungie, please. Bungie, please. Yeah. So, anyways, at risk of going on and on and on about this for 3 or 4 hours, like we are very, very capable of doing, I wanted to talk very briefly about other games that we have been playing because, it's easy to think of Destiny as, especially for someone like me who's very one-dimensional with their games they play, to think of Destiny as the only game, and if I don't play Destiny, then I just don't play video games. But I know you guys have been doing something a little bit different that I wanted to give you the opportunity to talk about, and then I was going to hit on a couple different things that I've been up to, and then we're going to finish with my secret question. Ooh.
Oh, I'm so scared. Okay. I'm the same way with Destiny. Destiny is my A1, and usually y'all knew this, if I wasn't playing Destiny, I was on Netflix, and that's
And
just
for a brief time, Fallout.
yeah, no, and that's where I'm going with this. And I got Fallout. Like it came out, pre-ordered it, got it, picked it up. It's amazing. I love the game. And I was like, well, I still have stuff to do in Destiny. Like this is really fun. And I did most of the story, figured out the ending on my own. Oops, and like just from plot progression, you just kind of figure it out. You're like, oh, that's what's gonna happen, and figured that out. Did some more cool stuff, found some cool armor, and I was like, all right, back to Destiny. Or I would get on really early in the morning when you guys were going to class because my classes are later in the day. I'd get on early in the morning and play Fallout, or I'd play it late at night when you guys are offline. And because y'all were my fire team, and I was always playing Destiny with y'all. And Fallout is amazing. And I got Black Ops 3, and we played zombies for a while. And it's just like all of this new stuff is happening around Destiny that I'm slowly putting Destiny down more. Like, okay, Destiny has been on my TV for the past like 48 hours, and it's literally push X to play. That's where it's been. Like I opened it, I was like, I'm gonna play some Destiny. I put my controller down, and I walked into my room and pulled up YouTube on my computer, and did some homework or whatever. Pulled up YouTube, turned my TV off, and the Destiny opening screen has been on my TV like a screensaver for the past 2 days, and like the TV's been off, but like I just left my PlayStation on, forgot it was up, turned my TV on today, and it was like Destiny, and I was like, why is that up? And closed it and pulled up Netflix, and it's just crazy to me because like I even went back and played through Bloodborne the other day, and finally beat the final boss of Vanilla Bloodborne, and played Battlefield with Alex, a client of ours and stuff. And I don't know, it's slowly like sinking into the background, and I don't want it to, but I've been playing so many other games and The Division.
And he's
I'm
he's
getting
actually not kidding. Like if you go to his profile on PlayStation right now, it says his most recent thing was Monday at 7:30 p.m. and it played Destiny, and he is still, it says, sitting in orbit right now. Like I'm looking at it on my screen in real time.
yeah, and like I'm looking at the Destiny title screen right now, and I've played all these other games, and I go back to GTA 5 a lot, like just randomly, just because it's a funny game. I like going in and just messing around, and driving around and doing random crap, just because it's funny. Like I used to do it after raids. After we would raid, I would get off Destiny and get on GTA just to kind of decompress when the raids were really difficult and took us 4 hours. And but like I have all these other games, and Destiny's like becoming the background, and I've been on YouTube and Netflix more than I've been on Destiny in my normal like Destiny time, quote unquote. And it's just weird to me. And the Division's coming out what, next week, right? This week or next week?
The 8th, right?
In 6 days, so like in a week, and I'll be picking that up, and I don't know, like there's so many other fun games that I want to play instead of Destiny now. And used to, I would get these fun games, play it for an hour,
Yeah.
and then and then go back to Destiny with y'all. And then at like 2 in the morning, I'd wake up in the middle of the night, couldn't go back to sleep. I'd go for a run like I do, come back and play Fallout, or come back and play Bloodborne or whatever. And then y'all would get on Destiny, and I'd get on Destiny with you because I have this issue with not sleeping, and it's really weird. And like I'll wake up at a certain time, like I can go to bed at 2 and wake up at 2:30, and I cannot go back to sleep. Like it physically will not happen. And so I'll get on my phone and play on my phone on Twitter and bother people, or I'll get on my PlayStation or whatever, or I'll, if it's or late enough in the morning, I'll get up and go run and then come back and try to go back to sleep for a little bit. And it's just weird to not play Destiny instead of having it in those little like quiet hours of my day. It's those other games are like taking over, and it I don't know, it's just weird to me.
I feel there was a point where I felt like if I played something besides Destiny, I was doing something wrong. Like I don't know how to describe that, but
Guilt.
it was like yeah, guilt. I was like I mean I don't want to say like guilt, but guilt's a pretty good word for it. It was like I should be working on my skirmish rank, or I should be like I don't know, doing something, getting grinding for a sword. And now it's like I mean, Connor, I barely have any PlayStation games because for a while it was like okay, I mean, I'm not going to play anything else. But
Yeah.
now I've started branching out a little bit more. One thing that I'm actually really consumed with now, and have been since that's what like 5 years now. I Connor way back when got me into Minecraft when it came out, and as a
4. It was still in beta.
that's true. Yeah, you got me into it in beta, and as a engineer in training and designer at heart, it's something I've always loved. And vanilla, lost me pretty quick. There's not a lot to do in vanilla Minecraft, and then I tried out a few mods and found the good old Tekkit mod pack way back when it was new.
Yep.
I've been playing modded Minecraft for longer than I've played vanilla, and modded is nothing to a lot of times I think people hear Minecraft, they think of their 8-year-old sibling playing it on an iPad, which is probably a large portion of it. But modded is modded gets very complex. It's really cool. Like I just made a really cool automated sorting system that I can request items from, and somebody just made a nuclear reactor and all sorts of really cool stuff. And it has a lot of potential to just really kind of go wild with your the limits are your imagination and creativity. And I just got back into it recently because I was sitting in my first mechanical engineering class and we started designing stuff, and I was like, I know this. I missed this. And so I jumped back into it, brought Jake with me, and we've
Yo,
been playing on a server for a little bit. And it's actually been really fun kind of talking, because all the people that we've like encountered are actually, like, I'd say half of them are older than we are. There's there's a few 40 plus people, which
huh,
actually really surprised me. Uh,
huh.
but it's been a good experience getting back into that. And like y'all said earlier, zombies is I love zombies, which zombies has so much replayability. But like, which is one of the cool things about modded Minecraft, and the reason I've been able to play it for forever is because it's constantly changing. Like every day, like new mods come out and stuff, and it's really cool experience to get into building things. And I love building and designing stuff, and would like to go into some form of design at some point. So this is a cool experience for me, and like it's becoming more relevant in my life as I am getting into these engineering classes and stuff. And so it just seemed more relevant to what I'm doing in life, more so than like Destiny. I don't know. So I don't know.
Slander.
Which I mean, would love. It goes back to that. I don't have incentive to play Destiny right now. Like I won't stop. But at this point, it kind of feels like it's for nostalgic reasons.
Yeah. Well,
That's exactly what it is for me. Like I'm an alpha player. I can't not play the game when it's out.
Exactly. It's a part of me.
Well, basically, yeah, because like what September 2014, the beta dropped. So July,
I sent you all that picture with the flyer.
yeah, yeah, like
Yes.
so, like June, July of 2014, I was playing Destiny, and it's 2016, and the game's been a part of my life